But here we are, Adam Robinson, CEO of retention.com. He's back. We had episode number 2. This is episode number 8, and we're trying out some new digs. We're
Episode
always
108.
testing.
108.
We're from number 2 to 108.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy cow. How do we do it?
I'll come back on in, 214?
Yeah.
Is that 108 plus 108?
I think that's good.
Plus 6?
Yeah, let's do that.
Plus 6.
It's been a journey, man, and you've seen so much change since then. It's been awesome to see with our B2B and the software you've launched and the learnings you've had. It's been a ride.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I mean, it's always. I was talking to somebody a few weeks ago. In some way or another, I've been at this since like 2013. I had a spell in.
I feel like we can connect on that.
Yeah, like
2014 for me.
Yeah, like my first product was launched in 2014 in January. It was an email newsletter app. Built it. I wasn't building. I was sitting there waiting for it to get built for the year and a half before it. But I kind of like to say January 2014 is like the starting point. And there was a real lull because my first business was stuck at 3 million ARR. I wasn't, I had a girl managing the operations and I was trying to figure out what was next. And I was like, I will work my ass off again at some point. I am not going to sit here and make up stuff for myself to do. I'm going to chill out until it comes,
Yeah. Yep.
I was thinking about it all day long, but I wasn't just like in there grinding, losing my spirit, trying to like will something forward with all my might in 12 hours a day and have it not move. So I've had like a lull in activity, but like I think my schedule's 8:30 to 5, no weekends kind of thing. Currently I work by myself, which is great because you're super productive if you don't have an office full of people. We got 40 employees. So like if I had an office, it's like people are just coming by to like talk all day.
Yeah.
I didn't like that when I had one. But what my point is the actual things that I'm doing every day have changed so much year to year that it's just wild. It's like not the same job that I had 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Can you
give people the recap of like, because it sounded like it was, you've tell maybe the high level backstory for people that don't know where you've gone from and what you are now to talk about how it's changed.
So like the 1-minute intro is moved to New York City in 2003. I arrived at this MTV Cribs style apartment with 4 other guys who were starting Vimeo. Literally like in Dreamweaver building the HTML page.
Dreamweaver.
I'm baby blue, remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And then I watched them, over 10 years of being a credit default swap trader at Lehman Brothers and also doing incredibly well in many ways, financially and status and all that stuff. I watched those guys and something about it just looked way cooler than what I was doing. I didn't have words for it at the time. Now I know it is much more satisfying for most people to build over the long term and see that progress than it is to just extract money from the financial system and go back to zero every year and have no other purpose in life or value that you're really providing. Not to say that it's bad. It's just not, in my opinion, it's not as fulfilling work as it is where, we can sit back here and say, man, like, wow, like it's a lot different than it was in 2013.
Bringing something new to the world that adds value.
Totally.
Different.
So I kind of made a bad career move. I moved to London for a year and it didn't work out. And I came back and like after the financial crisis, the market I was in, credit default, just kind of got smashed. The opportunity got, and so I was faced with either accepting a much worse position than I had before I left or taking some time off and figuring something out. And I always knew I wanted to live like these guys. I wanted to start a tech company in this apartment. And, I did it when I was 30 instead of 22 like them. But that was the start of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a newsletter app.
Yep.
I got really lucky in that this is just a really weird story. My brother was using this SaaS app for customer reviews and email marketing that got like turned off by VCs. And at the time I was looking for something to do, he's like, I really like this product. Do you want to just try to rebuild it and get their customers? Because they raised $20 million. They're out there. So that was the original plan.
Bad.
And then we met the founder of that company, and he told us the old dog in the email marketing space was Constant Contact. He's like, I'm not going to tell you too much, but they're leaving a ton of information about their customers all over the internet. My co-founder's starting a data company. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but like, go look for it and you'll find it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So this is crazy. I think we found something he didn't even know about. They were making a community page for their paying customers. They had 250,000 paying customers. In the URL, it was an unencrypted six-digit number. When you jumped it by one, it was a dead page. When you jumped it by two, it was the next customer. And it had like first name, last name, business name, zip code. So, and they were paying customers. So we took that, we crawled it for 3 months, sent the file to Bangladesh, got phone numbers from Google back, and we like built this call center, and like that got us to 3 million ARR.
Wow.
But that's a very, very difficult space. So at the peak, we had like 38 people smiling, dialing. Then it stopped because we just couldn't compete with MailChimp outside of that one channel. Back down to 4 people, which was very profitable at 3 million ARR. And then there was this horrible period of like 2-3 years when we were just stuck there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this isn't enough, right? Like I need more. If I'm having kids in Manhattan or whatever.
Yeah.
I need more money than
Yeah.
this. So, it started on this long journey of trying to figure out what was next. And then I tried so many things. So many things did not work. So much wasted time. So much wasted money. Trying to chase after these fads in SaaS at the time, recreate other people's products I thought were working or whatever. And then somebody told me at a lunch that it was possible to get an email address from someone who visited a website without them filling out a form. And I was like, and that it was legal in the US. I was like, what? I'd never heard of that. I know the biggest problem in email is list growth. If I could do that, I could sell it to everybody. So then it took another year to figure out how to do that. And then that was Get Emails, which turned into retention.com, which RB2B is a version of that, but like optimized for B2B companies.
Amazing.
And here we are.
Yeah. And it sounds like you've talked a lot about simplifying the business, cutting burn rate, cutting costs, being smart. Is it a leaner, meaner organization? You talked about how your days are a lot more, they're pretty balanced. Not like you're going crazy, grinding away and, trying to go for growth at all costs. Tell us a little bit, how has that shift happened?
Yeah.
And especially in the last year since.
When we were stuck at 3 million ARR, I thought that which is like 250K or something MRR, monthly recurring revenue. I thought my literally written down my dream, the top line goal was 2 million a month MRR. And if we could get there, I would have no other problems. I would be satisfied. I would never ask for another thing in my life. Right. Like, and we, and do it in a lean way. I'm a lean guy. I'm a bootstrapper.
Sure.
We're the total ARR of our company is around 30 now. And we have 40 people, which is insanely lean for a SaaS. It's crazy. It's super profitable.
Congrats. That's amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Literally. And, we hit that 2 million MRR thing maybe a year ago, like a couple of years after. I was trying to do it by my 42nd birthday. I wrote the goal when I was 37, and I did it on my 44th or something like that, or
Amazing.
whatever. But and it in many ways that was correct. Like a lot of the stuff that I had been worried about until that point, financially or whatever, it just all of a sudden has shifted to just I'm playing with the house's money. And interestingly, the top line growth has not been that substantial since we hit it. I'm wondering if it's because I set that goal and it's just, had I set 50, would we still be crushing? But I also think, every one of these things, journeys, RB2B was a whole new journey that I just the value of the education of the experience. Retention.com, I thought it was a unicorn, and then it wasn't, and then now
Yeah.
we just didn't innovate the product for so long. We could have innovated the offer without changing the product, and we're going to do that now. So just all of this stuff is so valuable, and I just feel so grateful to be in a position where it's like, okay, like these things are not shrinking when you add everything up. It may not be growing exponentially.
Yeah.
I'm in an unbelievable position.
Yeah.
If I just sit here and do this for another decade,
Not
that's
bad.
my exit. You know what I mean?
Not
Like that's
shabby.
my exit. And then like,
We love.
I'm just like having a great time. You
That's
know?
beautiful. And so I was going to ask you, are you satisfied? You kind of answered that a little bit. It's like you set this, big audacious goal that you've achieved. You've exceeded that. As you said, you can keep rolling on this for a few more years and have an interesting, exciting, positive outcome. It sounds like. Is that
I have
satisfying,
this,
or is there?
I think a lot of people have like a number.
Yep.
I've tried to distance myself from that idea, just having heard stories from so many people about like one of the guys who started Vimeo, he had a number and then he had this perfect business 7 years ago, but he got offered a price that got him above his number. And he's like, it was the wrong goal. And he's like, every founder I tell it to is like, basically like, I want to find that out for myself. But he's like, it was the wrong goal. Like he was running it profitably, if he just would have like let it happen over the last 7 years, he would have just been much more energized by his life every day. And he's like, since I sold that business, he's like, I'm not a billionaire. I can't overpay for a great business, and cheap businesses are cheap for a reason. So I've been looking for something like that ever since. And he's like, furthermore, that sale marked the end of the platform that I started when I was 18 that I had been launching all of my other stuff out of.
Got it.
And he's like, starting from scratch is just so hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, which kind of makes me appreciate what I have so much. It's like, I have this platform that is, we have a good brand, a strong brand in the Shopify space, strong brand in B2B. We can be a data company if we want to. Like, we have a core team. I have competent executives. I got legal and finance dialed. The team is amazing. And like, I don't know. I'm actually moving to Aspen in January. Like, I'm pushing this lifestyle.
You're leaving us in Austin.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm bringing
no more wakeboarding club.
I know.
Oh, no.
I'm bringing my 3-year-old and 1-year-old to Aspen and going to raise them there. But like,
doesn't sound horrible.
No, I mean, it's my dream. My wife finally opened her mind to it, and like, I didn't really ever think I was going to be able to afford living there, And all of a sudden, like, she opened her mind to it, and we're looking at places. We're like, this is not going to feel good to rent this, but like, we can do it. I want to just set my life up to just do this for a few more decades.
Well, it sounds like kind of the whole adage of like, there's that, well, I just want to fish on the beach in Mexico and enjoy my life. And it's like, why don't you hire more people and get more fish and then create this and then to get sold. And then, so what? You can be on the beach and go fishing in the sun. So it feels like a little flavor of that. And it's like, do you like to ski?
Oh, man.
Snowboard?
I mean, that's the interesting thing is,
question.
There's this saying, which anybody who's been in these places is like, people who live there, they go there for the winter and they stay there for the summer. So like that, we got a house like 1 mile outside of the core of downtown of Aspen, but I'm getting an office that's a block away from the gondola.
All right.
So then when I have an hour and a half, I can like.
Well, I'm going to manifest this with you, and maybe one day we can join you there if we do.
Please,
Because I've never been there. I don't know if it's my place.
It is a mad.
But I absolutely am obsessed. My wife and I both love skiing. We've been fortunate to get exposure to it early, and did it for our honeymoon. We did a trip, so maybe we'll have to.
Where'd you go for your honeymoon?
Vermont.
Nice.
Yeah.
I skied there.
Yeah, our 1 year we did. 1 year I think we did Whistler, and our 2 year I think we did Deer Valley in
cool
Park City area. So
sweet.
It's good times.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's the best.
This is so interesting what you've created, and a bunch of questions popped up out of the conversation to get to Aspen, which is more exciting perhaps. But how do you straddle the consumer and the B2B side of the business?
Well, not well, to be perfectly honest. I mentioned before we were rolling that I started creating content, and the original goal was when I thought retention.com was a unicorn. I was trying to, like at the time, we had such crazy product market fit and no competition that you could just say what you did to a Shopify store and they would be like,
Yeah.
I'm buying that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I was like, how do I create more awareness?
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no question building up a personal social media profile is a place. LinkedIn had the most favorable creator consumer content dynamic, but more of the audience was on Twitter. So like the idea was start on LinkedIn, get 10, 20,000 followers, then try to like have Twitter game once you learn how to create content a little bit. That was the plan. Meanwhile, it's like, what am I going to write about? How am I going to compete with Nick Sharma's content or whatever? Like these people who are actually Nick Shack, like people who are actually running these businesses, right? Because like I'm not a guy running businesses. And I knew I was willing to be way more transparent than like anyone at the phase that I was on my journey. And these e-com guys were all curious about SaaS, and we all share broader business pain. Right. So one of the pillars of what I was talking about, like maybe 40% of it at the start was just like this build in public, wildly transparent, you know, putting my P&L up online and stuff. Yeah. And I just noticed it's like, okay, I'm trying to write about email for e-com, which I've never sent an email for e-com. And, you know, I don't know why anyone would read that for me, but like the posts got really good, but the engagement was like whatever. And then I'd write about like, you know, 2023, it was a really hard year for SaaS companies. Everybody tried to scale a BDR org, got their nuts blown in.
Yeah.
They had to let everyone go. It was terrible. I write about that stuff. It gets like 3,000 likes.
Yeah, when you came on the first time, that was like you're in the heat of that, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So it became clear to me that there was some author audience platform fit when I wrote about the B2B stuff, that it did not even close to have that effect on the B2C.
Yeah.
So much so that like, and we had this B2B data guy working for us at the time named Santosh. He's like, this product doesn't exist for them either. We need to sell it. So we built a product after the audience. And since then, I have not paid enough attention to the Shopify side. I mean, I have completely, it's like I go to the 1.5 hour executive meeting and I have one-on-ones with some of the execs who work on that business, but like, you know, until very recently, which we haven't even launched it yet, but no product innovation. No, you know. It was like, I really regret not having, you know, for better or for worse, I was the product visionary over there. I was the one pushing any bold and aggressive move that we made. And since the end of 2022, nothing has changed. So I would grade that as like a D-. You know, the business has not failed, but like my leadership has not helped it at all. It has been a slowly melting iceberg since a peak in late 2023, just because, you know, it was like there was this full service enterprise thing called Wonderkind, which did what we did. Then we were the cheapest game in town for 9 months. Then all of a sudden we had 6 people undercutting us and we like kind of didn't change anything.
Yeah. There you go.
So that equals slowly melting iceberg.
Totally. But our B2B has kind of taken off and taken over, it sounds like.
Yeah, our B2B is, it's good, not great, I would describe it as. It's like, you know, SaaS is interesting because different product categories have different churn.
Yeah.
It's like a Klaviyo, you know, it's the CRM of the e-com store. If they rip Klaviyo out, they're putting something else in. It's where they store their database. It is low churn. It has this amazing net revenue expansion quality to it because the brands allow you to charge more with email list size, so the companies can get huge. Sort of same thing in B2B, HubSpot, like the CRM and the email program. Those companies can get enormous because they have actual revenue expansion and they're super sticky. I sell leads and intent data packaged as a SaaS. The problem with that is no matter how good the data is, there's 9 reasons you'd rip it out. new employee. I don't like these leads. It's not ROI enough. It's whatever, right? So
Inherently not as sticky.
yeah. So no matter what, it's just you can't make that product as sticky as Klaviyo, no matter what. And then the Shopify buyer behaves like a VSMB. Basically, they're super price sensitive and like whatever else. Anyway, RB2B has a lot of those issues. Like even smaller, it's a freemium, lower price thing. Like even smaller businesses, it's like this, kind of, there's this inherent accuracy issue because we're dealing with ad tech persistent identifiers. Ad tech is horribly inaccurate, but no one knows because it's anonymous. When you de-anonymize someone and it's the wrong person on that low of volume, it's very easy to tell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, that being said, it's at 6.5 million ARR under 2 years in, and we have 3 full-time employees working on it. That's magical.
Yeah.
The churn's so bad that unless we keep tacking on other products, which we'll probably do, it's going to stall out here in a few million ARR.
Yeah.
It's kind of doing what we're doing.
Yep.
But still, great business. I mean, people talk about the 10-man, 10 million revenue company. It's like this will be like a 9 or 10 million 3-man.
That's
And I mean,
insane.
Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy. And we were just able, my founder brand was so loud in that audience that we were just kind of able to be the like leading brand.
Yep.
And then we got a bunch of follow-on copycats. And then just because of the problems with the product itself, they've all quit the market. It's like too small and these churn dynamics,
Yeah.
they're all venture backed. They literally can't run I have such good top of funnel that nobody else does. Nobody can run this business like I can run it.
Yeah.
And unless you could, you wouldn't be in the market, which is kind of what happened. So it's like this really interesting last
Kind
man
of created
standing.
it's like a unicorn, not by definition, but in characteristic. It's like,
Totally. It's like impossible it just looks easier than it is, which they all learned.
Yeah. That's amazing. What are you most excited about right now?
We're building something. We're building something on the e-com side that is, I think it's like super amazing. Have you ever heard of Clay?
Yeah. It's been brought up on the pod a couple times.
Yes. Yeah. So Clay is this magical thing in the B2B world where you drop a list in and then it's plugged into every data provider and you enrich these data points kind of like with waterfalls of data vendors if you want web traffic and you want, is it an e-com store and like whatever else. And then you can have ChatGPT look at all of that enrichment and write targeted communication that then gets like sent out on Instantly or like whatever, Gmail or like wherever you want. But it is amazing because it's got all the data that you would ever need, and per credit, it's more expensive. But the fact that you don't have to go farm this out in a million different places is incredible.
Yeah.
And, it's a beautiful thing because it's allowing people to use LLMs. I mean, that's a very strong use case for an LLM. It's like enrich this contact with a bunch of data that was hard to get until now, and then have the LLM look at all that data and write something based on who I am. Right?
It's shocking what
it's just like a great.
We're able to get now.
Yeah. So the e-com side is not exactly the same because like we don't think a couple of people are trying to do it, but we don't think the most effective way to hyper personalize is at the individual level.
Mm-hmm.
But like the idea of Clay, like a Clay table, helping you create micro segments. So like if you envision a cart abandonment email, right?
Yeah.
Like, or any email that really gets sent out.
Yep.
Like if you knew the persona of the person, whether they looked at a predictive page in your network, what their funnel stage was, what their offer sensitivity was, in the pages they looked at on your site. Based on that, you could create 300 variants of copy. That's very easy to do with something like a Clay table and OpenAI. And that will work. I mean, personalization works.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that because it's like with the way these tech vendors have taught people how to do the craft of email marketing and SMS marketing and whatever else, like they're not going there. You know what I mean? So like a really cool integrator layer could exist, and somebody will win this. I hope it's us. That's like kind of, you have your different tables of micro campaigns. One's for your cart abandonment for email. One's for your cart abandonment for SMS. One's for your whatever. And it's, not just on the retention side, like the same type of personalization can be done all over the place.
Interesting.
So yeah.
It's like scaled personalization layer.
Yeah. And it's like, you look at it, like we have like a prototype. It doesn't really work yet. And we're having a hard time getting testers before Black Friday. Whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you look at it and you're like, yeah, if I had 250 copies of myself, like I'd be doing this, for sure. Like,
just can't give up e-com, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like it. So, this product and the other product I have, it really only works for a store that has traction. And I just really believe that, like, if you've gotten an e-com store to the point where it has traction, you are a very talented human being. And like, I think you have to share a lot of the same values that I do about running lean and like all this stuff, strength of products and all that stuff.
Good
so like,
entrepreneur.
I have really enjoyed meeting everyone in that ecosystem, both on the brand side and the tech side. So
that's awesome.
So yeah, I like it.
Very cool.
I don't have the content edge that I do in B2B, but like I'm hoping that there's some angle.
Yeah.
I saw like a meme account on Twitter that was this compliance app. They hired this guy to just like, it's a European compliance app, and it's just like compliance jokes. And in a month they've gotten 20,000 followers. Like, I'm wondering if there's some angle like that where it's not my founder brand.
Yeah.
Some other concept.
And I like where you're going with it. Like, you might have a segment of the business, correct me if I'm wrong, where the top of funnel is smashing. The core business itself may not be as, wildly viable, if you will, post that top of funnel. But then if you create something that is a little bit more, compelling at the unit economic level and at the differentiation level, and you've got a little bit of an edge there. You don't necessarily need to have that dominant, top of funnel piece that you have with retention.
Yeah, I mean, and the good thing about Shopify Space too is like it is wildfire when you get something that works.
Yeah.
Like wildfire.
Once that internal group kind of catches it, and once a part of it, it's no brainer. Amazing. What are you kind of already answered the question, but looking ahead to 2026, is that going to be a core focus? How do you think about prioritization going forward, and what is kind of coming up for you as planning for next year happens, as we are already in November?
Yeah. So I think the biggest lesson of the last few years is like, we cannot stop innovating ever, anywhere, or these businesses will die. I don't know why that sounds so hard
aggressive,
for me.
But it's
no, but like, yeah, it's just like it's like you are either innovating or you are dying a slow death, and like that. I mean, I see what we're building now, and we have not validated the demand hypothesis yet. Looking at it, I have a very strong feeling that it's going to work, and that's super exciting. But like, unlike the last go around, we're just going to have to keep building it.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like it's just on this decade long, if the initial demand hypothesis is proven, then it's like, okay, we got to start doing this, and we have to like expand the TAM, and we have to expand the product, and we have to, it's never going to end,
Yeah.
So
reminds me of growth is never done. Entrepreneurship journey. And I feel very, it resonates with me for sure.
And I think for me in particular, it's just like having somebody we have this guy, Phil Roselli, in the product seat now over there, who is unbelievable. He's leading the charge on this.
Good.
And he has had a lot of the revelations around how he believes the micro segmenting in e-com should work versus the individual level, So yeah, it's like always, we had never historically hired well for that role, but like always having someone like that there. And I should, quite frankly, I should probably hire somebody for RB2B who's like that.
Yeah.
It
was kind of alluding to, I was kind of going there, and my next thought was, is there something there for the B2B side that could be a compelling offer, or is it kind of focused on consumer for now?
Clay's there for B2B.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
Fair.
So like one thing that I love
Fair.
in businesses is this thing where you're like, if something is absolutely crushing it over here, would it work over here? Because like that's kind of what our B2B was.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what getemailsandretention.com was. Like Wonderkin was crushing it with this version of what they were doing.
Yep.
And then it's like, well, what if I dumb that down
Yep.
and, made it like $9 to start? Like
Yeah.
what would happen?
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's a compelling story too. It's like, dude, like B2B, it's like, I don't know, like it's just so obvious why that would work. It's after you see Clay and you see the power of it, it's very hard to use and get up the curve or whatever. Once you're up the curve of it, it's like, wow, like I really understand why this is working.
Yep.
So it's really cool stuff. Like a lot of the AI companies crush because their UGC is amazing because people create content on social of how smart they are, right? So like there's some of that aspect to it.
Is a wow factor in terms of show and tell. Like, look what I was
Totally.
able to do with this tool, right?
And it like helps it's like, agencies helps their business. It like, gets awareness for the vendor or whatever else. So that's like the next like major thing. And then, on the B2B side, I don't really know. So I think, we're trying to understand the data business a little better. Like we built this suite of APIs that we don't really know what the use case is for yet, but like there's always been an API for giving an IP address and getting back a company. There's never been an API for giving an IP address and getting back a person. And like the Pixel does it a little bit better, but like there's a lot of reasons people don't like putting pixels on their site for whatever reason, whoever. So we have this, API thing that we're exploring. And then I'm more, so it's like, so it's like, I have this founder brand, which is entirely responsible for the success of our B2B. There's no way this business would work. It's just unbelievable. Like, I don't know, I get like 1 million LinkedIn impressions per month, and that leads to 30,000 unique website visits for this website. We didn't buy the domain 2 years ago, right? So like, no paid, right? Like very light paid. So it's just this amazing velocity going through there that my founder brand is entirely responsible for. So one side is like kind of product and revenue, but the other side is like, I'm just interested in like expanding the founder brand across channels, kind of like first.
Mm-hmm.
And then this mental hula hoops I'm jumping through right now is like, the breadth of the founder brand content is very wide relative to the actual paid user of our B2B. The breadth of the founder brand content is, I don't want to sound like an asshole. It's like virtually everyone in SaaS, because it's like founders who haven't gotten as far as I have, and then people working at larger SaaS companies who just want to be a bootstrap founder of a very profitable company and like move to Aspen, right? Like, so if you look, whereas the paid user of our B2B is like usually the marketer of a 5 to 20 person US based SaaS company. That's like 5% of the people that are reading my content. So, I look at like a LinkedIn automation platform. I'm like, man, it'd be sweet if I could like sell that. So white label, I don't even know what it is. Or like it would be sick if I had like a go-to-market. There's this thing called log growth machine. It's like a database plus cold email like instantly plus the LinkedIn automation like HeyReach. I'd probably get in trouble with LinkedIn if I sold that, but like still. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, none of that is new. I
Yeah.
mean, part of the reason why RBDB was so explosive was because my content was viral and this thing was totally new and so
Yeah.
different.
Yep.
And it's kind of not anymore, but still I'm the
Yeah.
only game in town, for free and under $400, right? So
Yeah.
it is very differentiated in that regard. Whereas like, I feel, my urge is to go try to somehow partner with these guys and let me white label some type of solution. But at the end of the day, people are already doing that. It's just not different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why it's like, kind of like I want to see if we can't just like get a machine for the content going across all these channels, and then maybe something comes to us someday that's like,
Yeah.
like the API stuff, right? I don't know
Yeah.
what that business is, but like,
I like that.
yeah,
It's especially interesting to get around that, placing of the pixel concept and
Mm-hmm.
get another way to do it that's more amenable to the end user. So,
yeah. Yeah, there's all sorts of weird use cases. Maybe it's ad tech,
Yeah.
enterprise retailers have
Yeah.
a use for it. Like
Amazing.
CPGs, yeah. I don't know.
Adam, this has been amazing. You come in, you've been dropping knowledge, and it's been fun to have you back. 106 episodes
Yeah.
later, so persistence and continuing the relationship, and we'll see you on the slopes hopefully.
Perfect. Yeah.
soon enough.
You got to go to Aspen. It's the best.
Never been.
In my opinion, it's the best place.
Yeah, I have to check it out on the bucket list at some point. But for those wanting to know more about you, like, is anything you want to share with the audience that's maybe hasn't been shared, or something where maybe they don't know about you?
Well, I got 2 kids, a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old,
Amazing.
which I mentioned.
Amazing.
And I'm really excited about raising them in this mountain environment, because I think just the way they spend their free time and like this whole dynamic with like mobile phone, it's like just giving them this gift of like access to like big nature all around
Yeah.
is just like amazing.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, pretty passionate about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you have kids?
I do. 5 and 2.5.
Yeah,
Another
so
one on the way.
like, what happened to my life is once I had kids, it was just like, I got kids, I got work.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay in shape.
Yep.
I'm trying to see some friends every once in a while,
That's
but
it.
like not really.
That's it.
And there's not much else. So like,
Yeah.
I have a simple life in that regard.
refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very similar.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. It's good stuff.
Totally. It's a very purpose-driven existence.
Yeah.
And like the challenges never stop.
Absolutely.
There's always just this like, how could I be doing this better?
Yeah.
How could I not get this pissed off? Like,
Yeah.
whatever. Right.
No, you're constantly checking yourself and trying to, make sure you're on the right track. And it hits for me for sure. And I think a lot of people get that. So it's been awesome to have you on, and thanks for being so generous with your time.
Thanks, Ty.
Absolutely.
Let's do it again, man.
Let's do it again.